As well, the NFC South obviously won last year by the New Orleans Saints. Super Bowl champion did come out of this division as well, but I won't make a big stink about it.
But you had to mention it.
Of course. The Carolina Panthers are a team on the rise. The Atlanta Falcons, they're along for the ride. I mean, they're kind of stuck. The Atlanta Falcons are kind of stuck right now with an aging quarterback, an aging wide receiver that they can't come off of. Although the trade rumors have been out there about Julio Jones being shipped out somewhere. Although it is the start of a new era. They finally have a coach that we believe in now with Arthur Smith, and he got the tight end of his dreams with the number 4 pick in the draft. Kyle Pitts going to the Atlanta Falcons immediately makes that offense scarier.
Yeah, agreed. Kyle Pitts is basically going to be a third wide receiver for this team. Hayden Hurst will be the blocking tight end. You're going to see a ton of Kyle Pitts played on the outside. I mean, he's Calvin Johnson. That's exactly what I think Kyle Pitts is. I think he is a freak of nature that would have been a top 5 player as a wide receiver if he had never played tight end in his life. I love this kid. I love this pick. And I'll be honest with you, I like a lot of what the Falcons did.
Yeah.
I like Richie Grant as a day one starter. The Jalen Mayfield thing, you know, I've made my feelings on Jalen Mayfield pretty clear.
I was going to say here, Darren Hall was something that was like, I didn't know much about him coming in, and at 108, I thought it was a little high.
It was a little high, and the reason that he was the riskiest pick is because I think he's going to have to play more than you want him to. Because you've got a Kendall Sheffield, Isaiah Oliver, A.J. Terrell, Darren Hall. That's your first 4 corners. So 3 of them are going to play a lot.
Yeah.
Sheffield, I know. A.J. Terrell, I know. It's the 4th one that I'm not so sure of.
I just want to know. I want to throw.
Or 3rd one, I'm not so sure of.
What, as a defense going against the Atlanta Falcons, what do you do? Who are you going to have? I mean, you have Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, and Kyle Pitts now. Every one of those guys can kill you on a game-to-game basis.
And Russell Gage.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
He doesn't suck at football either.
How do you game plan for that? If you double team, if you send guys, I mean, just the draft of Kyle Pitts immediately helps his team out, because I think Mike Davis is a serviceable enough running back that's going to give you a lot more than Todd Gurley did last year.
I'm shocked how much shade there's been thrown at Mike Davis. I think that is absolutely short-sighted as shit.
Yeah.
The amount of hate that I've seen at Mike Davis. Oh, why did you not take a running back?
Yep.
Because you have a running back.
Yeah.
I think you have a starting running back in this league.
And you still have Brian Hill, who does well as a backup. He wasn't like terrible. I'm not saying he was like a complete utter failure every time he got. Okay, maybe he was German, but I'm not going to say he was. But you can't.
No, he doesn't matter.
Yeah,
he doesn't matter.
You can't game plan for this team anymore. I don't know what the hell you're going to do.
First of all, Brian Hill's not on this team. I do need to. I got to state that
he's not.
He was a free agent.
Oh well, I apologize.
Yeah, he gone. Currently,
it's maybe that way I got the look.
No. That's actually you got that look because you actually thought Brian Hill was good at football, which I don't. I firmly don't.
He's fine. Just like I think Mike Davis is fine. I don't think he's anything to write home about. But he is a serviceable running back that they can use to pick up some yardage. That's not going to be the focal point of this offense.
No,
they're not going to require Mike Davis to do a whole lot.
No, and you're going to have defenses spread incredibly thin. Mike Jones. Who? Mike Davis is a really aggressive runner, and I think he'll be just fine. And they're going to add another running back. Just like the Dolphins. Yep. I didn't kill the Dolphins for not taking a running back because somebody traded in front of them. Now, who are you going to take? What, do you feel great about Kenny Gainwell? I mean, I would have liked that, but didn't work out that way.
Their riskiest pick, Darren Hall?
Solely because of what I just said.
Yeah.
He's going to be asked to do I think he's going to be asked to do a lot, and I don't necessarily think he's ready for that.
Okay.
I'm really curious where they slot in Jalen Mayfield. Like, do they think he can be do they think he slots in as a starting guard? Which is entirely possible.
Yeah. I would say he could
I
serve
wouldn't
that
hate
role.
it. And I look at Drew Dahlman and Matt Hennessy, you're pretty set at center for an extended period of time. I like a lot of what the Falcons did. I think it was a good weekend for the Atlanta Falcons.
I think you were very, very fair with your B- draft grade for the Atlanta Falcons. The Carolina Panthers.
Go.
Man, they killed it. The Carolina Panthers absolutely killed the draft, in my opinion. The J.C. Horn pick, Terrace Marshall, Brady Christensen, Tommy Tremble, Chuba Hubbard, Davian Nixon. To me, that's the best haul they could have hoped for in the first 6 picks.
Are you ready for the grade?
B+.
This is an A. This is no doubt an A.
You're wrong.
How?
It's fine. You're allowed to be wrong, but you're wrong.
I'm not wrong.
Because you took a guy at 8 that you took too damn high. Straight up, you took him too high. You could, to me, the one thing I wanted to see Carolina do, and what exactly this would have yielded and where you would have gone, J.C. Horn was in too much demand. There was too much demand for Patrick Surtain and J.C. Horn, and I'm going to level with you. I don't think it was that. I'm not going to say it wasn't a need. I don't think you had to do it at 8. I don't. And I can't not love your first pick. And I love the player. Mm-hmm. I have no qualm with J.C. Horn. Mm-hmm. This is just exactly like, all right, so add San Francisco taking Mac Jones at 3. I'd have killed that.
Yeah.
Why? Because the pick is so valuable, and you used it on a guy that I don't value to be that valuable.
Right.
Philadelphia would have given you the moon to get up here. Several other teams would have too, because they were in love with J.C. Horn. And then you move back, you add pieces, you put things around Sam Darnold. I love what they did from there on. And again, I can't say this enough. I don't hate the player at all.
Yeah.
I just thought it was high.
You just thought it was high.
And I got news for you. Taking a guy 6 spots too high, which is what J.C. Horn was for me.
Yeah.
J.C. Horn was my 14th best player in this draft.
That was getting ready to be my next question, is how big of a deal is that 6
spots in the top 15 is aggressive.
Yeah.
Okay.
There is a big damn difference between the guy that's 8 and the guy that's 14 in draft order.
Right.
Again, I don't hate this, and I don't claim to know the inner workings of the Carolina Panthers depth chart. Seems like everybody and their brother was talking about they need another whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
You know, they need another shutdown corner. Don't like Dante Jackson, whatever the case may be.
Right.
Well, you got one. You slid this guy right in. You know what I don't like? You went 9 picks in a row on defense across 2 draft classes. I don't like that. That's a lot of young guys that you're expecting to do a lot of things right off the jump. Now that I've said the negative of it,
Yep.
Adam Black, I hate that line, and I've heard it so many times. I've lost all credibility. No, I'm just not. I'm unbiased as hell. I'm unbiased as hell. Now, what would I have liked them to do better? I don't have a great answer to that. I wanted it to be Penny Sewell. Actually, that's a lie. I do have an answer to that. I know exactly what they should have done.
Trade up.
Trade back. Let somebody else take J.C. Horn, and you take Rashawn Slater. That's what you should have done. That's A+. Had they done that, that's an A+, not a B+. Because Rashawn Slater was the 7th best player in this draft to me.
I like J.C. Horn. I think I will agree. I think it was Adam Black that said it in the comments. I think Scott Fitterer is building something real special.
He is.
On this defensive side of the ball.
And I agree with that. I 100% agree with what you just said. Name me the left tackle of this team.
Yeah, can't do
I'll wait. Greg Little and Cam Irving and Brady Christensen are the top 3 guys.
Yep.
First of all, I had Christensen as a guard. Cam Irving is best as a guard, and Greg Little has been a fucking disaster. So you're putting a quarterback that was behind a terrible line and made bad decisions behind a line whose left tackle is Greg Little. That's it.
Right.
That's it. You had to come out of this with a solution at left tackle. You don't have one.
Yeah.
And there are not that many solutions out there. I mean, all right, so let's say they go sign Charles Leno. How great do you feel about that? Did you ever watch the Bears and go, damn, that left tackle is good Lord, that guy should be a Pro Bowler.
No, you didn't.
No. And that's my one qualm. Now, with that being said, and people kept saying, oh, you're talking out of both sides of your mouth. No, there's positives and negatives to everything.
Yes.
Right.
I love the haul the Panthers added. This is one of the highest draft grades I have.
Yeah.
I mean, they're in the top 5 or 7 overall of draft grades.
Right.
Universally, agree with it wholeheartedly. You did a great job. I just really don't like that you don't have a left tackle.
I mean, Shi Smith at 204, I think, is someone that could actually contribute to this team almost right away.
Most definitely.
That is my favorite pick of the draft.
Yeah.
You stole Shi Smith in the 6th round. And that's a guy that I'm telling you right now, he's better than people tell you he is.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have been screaming Shi Smith for as as long as I can remember.
And
I'm really excited that now we get really good access to him being right down the road.
I also love the story of apparently Mrs. Rule. Was the one that drafted Chuba Hubbard.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I was unaware
apparently
of that.
she sent Matt a text message when they were coming up in the 4th round and said, you need to draft Chuba Hubbard right now.
Yeah, that's actually what cost them.
So he did.
That cost them an A-, is that Julie Rule picked Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave that one alone.
Oh, you want me to explain it? Chuba Hubbard shouldn't have been a 4th-round pick.
Yeah. No,
I'm tired of the
not saying
ass
that
kiss fest that has been Chuba Hubbard.
I'm not
he
Chuba
was a
Hubbard.
fucking nightmare on film.
Yeah.
I understand he was so good the year before. In a spread offense that is in no way indicative of what the NFL looks like.
Yep.
That was not a good pick. And the fact that you keep putting it out there that a coach's wife is who made that pick, that's not a good look.
That's what I was saying.
That's not a good look.
That's what I'm leaving alone is the wife pick.
I mean, I don't care. I mean, Julie Rule may know more about football than anybody that ever watches any show we ever do.
Yeah. Right.
I don't give a shit about that. You're putting it out there that a coach's wife made a pick.
In the 4th round.
Have you ever noticed that nobody's ever done that before?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You've never seen a team do that. You know why? Because that sounds really odd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds really strange, especially when you took a long snapper in the 6th round. That gets into, are you outsmarting yourself here? Because that doesn't make any damn sense.
All the talent that Carolina was able to put together in this draft, though, and in the last draft, and kind of in the draft before that, I think they are building something special in Carolina, and they will be ruling this division in 2 years.
So hold on, I have to answer 2 of the questions in the comments.
Okay.
Will Terrace Marshall be able to stay healthy? I do believe so. My knock on Terrace Marshall was not injuries. It was his ability to get off the line of scrimmage because he's not a guy that deals well with press. And I'm afraid teams are going to do that a lot. Here's the thing. He's got Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore on the other side. That's fine. I was afraid he was going to wind up in Detroit.
Yeah.
A lot of my dings on Terrace Marshall were assuming he was going to be a 2. He's a 3. I'm good. The Terrace Marshall pick was great.
Yeah.
Adam Black asked, so why is Horn the riskiest player they drafted if you like him as a player? It's very simple. Because you took a cornerback at 8.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's ridiculously high for a corner. Let's play a fun game. Would you like me to tell you who the top the corners that have been taken in the top 10 the last 5 years are?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, 5 however long years. Got to actually search it right. Don't really care what the Green Bay Packers did looking for a cornerback.
Right.
A CB, not a GB.
Right.
Yeah.
Hitting a home run on a cornerback in the 1st round is tough.
Mm-hmm. It is tough.
It's not like J.C. Horn is Deion Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
You
No.
know what I mean?
I really liked him.
And to me, I would think part of this would be not only is it a risk taking a cornerback so high in the draft, but it's also you're taking the risk of adding that piece to your defense rather than getting the tackle that you could have had to bolster your offensive line. That's the risk you're taking. You're not so much taking the risk on the player himself because we like the player himself.
Yeah.
It's the position in which you took him that makes him a risky pick.
Here's the corners that have gone in the top 10. Last year's Jeff Okudah and C.J. Henderson. They were both absolute disasters as rookies.
Mm-hmm.
Denzel Ward in Cleveland in 2018.
That was good.
That's worked out pretty well.
Yeah.
I had Denzel Ward rated higher than J.C. Horn.
Mm-hmm.
2017, Jamal Adams. That's a safety, but let's see. Jalen Ramsey at 5. J.C. Horn will never be Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah.
Ever. You go all the way back to Patrick Peterson. You better be a damn elite corner, which I think first of all, that's the other part of this.
Yeah.
I think you took the inferior corner ahead of the better one.
Mm-hmm.
I think Patrick Surtain is the better corner, and I've said that the whole time. And you just send him to a place that he can really succeed.
Yeah.
So why is it, long answer short to Adam Black's question, why is it such a risky proposition? Everything I just said. You didn't wind up with a tackle, which you could have had in Rashawn Slater. I understand you wanted Penny Sewell. I wanted Penny Sewell for you, frankly.
Yeah.
And because you took him ahead of Patrick Surtain, which could make you look not so bright not too long from now. Because Pat Surtain is day one, no doubt ready to slot in.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard some things coming out of definitely out of Charlotte and stuff like that that are saying that the J.C. Horn was the pick over Patrick Surtain. A lot of that had to do with the South Carolina, like they were closer to home.
Yeah, if
they
that's
got
true.
more tape on it, and I hope that's not the case.
I was about to say, if that's true,
Yeah.
you have a massive deficiency in your scouting
Yeah,
department.
exactly, because that's too high at that point. But there's a lot of people saying that, and I don't believe that's true. I want to debunk that as well.
I don't either.
Yeah.
What, he's gonna
And I was
sell
making
tickets?
jokes about the Julie Rule thing. I think it's a weird look.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you have the draft pick where you call the guy and he's so shocked that you drafted him. Like, those are all good for social media clips. They don't look good to insiders and to scouts, because I've had a couple people ask me about that. Because we're in the Carolina market.
Yeah.
So we know that team pretty well.
Right.
I've gotten a couple text messages of, all right, so you got a coach's wife making a pick, and you got another guy that you called, and he was so shocked that he was being drafted that he didn't think it was Matt Rule.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
That's a weird thing, and you're making a lot about that.
It is weird.
Has there ever been a long snapper selected?
Oh, yeah. There were several.
Oh, yeah.
They started a run on them.
Oh, okay.
There were like 3 of them in 8 picks.
I was surprised to even see that. I guess that was just.
He's a great long snapper, by the way. I do have to admit that.
He's going to be the next Carolina Panthers Pro Bowler.
Well, I've been trying to tell you for months now that both of your kids need to be like knocking beer cans off a Barstool long snapper, because that's the career for them right there.
Oh, yeah.
Both of them.
We're going to be practicing that one, no doubt. Let's talk about the New Orleans Saints. The Saints are going through quite the change here with Drew Brees now retiring. And in their draft, to me, it was a reach at the 28 pick for Peyton Turner. What?
No, I'm just looking at the board. I need you to hit that yellow button. There you go.
Yep.
Do you realize how hard it was for me to not just put Gary Busey's face on this? Because I really wanted
I'm
to.
sure. Oh my God.
Peyton Turner.
I've seen some bad drafts.
Yeah, Peyton Turner at 28, Pete Werner at 60, Paulson Adebo, Ian Book, Landon Young, Kawan Baker. None of that.
Ian Book.
None of that jumps off the page at you.
Ian Book.
I didn't even think Ian Book would get drafted.
I did not have a draftable grade on Ian Book. You took him in the 4th round.
Let alone with a team that's got, whatever we want to call Taysom Hill, but you have Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill on a team, and you are losing so many people because of the salary cap hell you're in, and you went and drafted a quarterback who won't ever see the field in round 4.
I do find it funny that New Orleans now has 2 quarterbacks that can't throw and one that can't stop throwing to the wrong team.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a quarterback room you have there.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Now, and here's the thing. I don't hate the Peyton Turner pick. I actually really like the kid. And he has been climbing and climbing and climbing and climbing. He was really productive at the Senior Bowl. A lot of teams really liked him. That's not really the pick I'm dinging you for. I'm okay with that. If you think he's an elite pass rusher, you took him over Greg Rousseau, which blows my mind. You took him over Azeez Ojulari. You took him over Jason Owa or Odafe Owa. I'm going to get that in my brain eventually. You took him over a lot of guys that I liked better than him. I'm fine with that. If that's your guy, get your guy. That's my line in the draft. It has been for years, but it certainly has been for the last 6 days.
Yeah.
It's where you went from there that I don't really understand. Pete Werner is about as athletic as I am. I think in a foot race, he and I would be damn close to each other, because he's about as athletic as a wet fart.
Oof.
Good linebacker.
Yeah.
He's a fine technician. He don't fit this defense at all. You know who fits this defense? DeMario Davis. Super multiple. Not the biggest guy. DeMario Davis, not the biggest guy. And Pete Werner, yeah, he's real tall. 6'3", 240, all that good shit. He's not athletic enough to play in this defense. He's going to be a 2-down linebacker, and you took him in the 2nd round. And I'll be honest with you, he was the 3rd best linebacker on his own team, in my opinion. I like Justin Hilliard better, who went unfreaking drafted.
Yeah, crazy.
And Baron Browning, who went after this. I don't like it. Saints fans are not going to like this. I'm sorry. And you know what? Sean Payton's done a great job of drafting guys over the years, so maybe I'm wrong. I'm just telling you what I saw on tape. Paulson Adebo, I don't hate it. There's a lot of projection with him.
Yep.
But I don't hate it.
And you traded up and you lost draft capital to get him.
That was your best pick of the draft.
Yeah.
Then you take an undraftable quarterback in the 4th round. Do you realize how many picks went off between the Adebo pick and Landon Young in the 6th round? And the one guy you took was Ian Book?
Yeah.
A guy that universally, every scout I talked to said he will not get drafted. He'll be a priority free agent. Teams will bring him in as a camp hard.
Yeah.
And you took him in the 4th round. I mean, there's nothing about him that I see that says NFL quarterback.
Yeah.
Nothing. And you need depth. and you took a freaking quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
It's the one knock that I have for them is that we already believe, as a table, as a group here, that New Orleans is heading for a downfall.
Yeah.
100%.
And you did nothing in this draft to make me feel like you're headed on the straight and narrow, the path back to relevance after you just lost the best player you've ever had.
Kevin Vick said that's the first not applicable I've seen.
Yeah.
That's because it's the first one that's been up there.
Yeah.
Because it's the first time I've looked at a player and went, you overdrafted them all.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say you had a good value. If I'd said one, it would have been Paulson Adebo, and you took him too high.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was in the early 120s in my rankings. You took him, what, at 90?
105.
105. So, I mean, that's not good value. I can't
Mm-hmm.
say there's the best value when you overdrafted everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, I can only imagine what the comments from Saints fans are going to look like.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to pound you for it, but that's all right. They'll have
Who
to pound
cares?
the rest of us because this is just it's
Three
not a good
years
one.
from now, when you're 5-12, just remember I said it.
Yep.
Speaking of a team that's going to be 5-12 in 3 years.
Hey, fire them cannons! Get them rings while you can. The
5-12's being super good.
the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the defending world champions. You know, what do you give a team that has everything?
Better than you did.
Better than we did? What was
Better than
it?
we did.
C minus? Okay. I mean, I'll settle for that. Again, there were a couple of good picks in here, but you had to justify them. And that was the thing that I don't like. And especially with your first round draft pick. When you draft a guy that your fan base immediately looks at and goes, no, I don't know that we should have done that. Especially with a guy like, Azeez Ojulari that was still on the board.
Yeah.
Obviously, as a Georgia fan, I would love to see that happen. But they took Joe Tryon. As I got to know Joe a little bit, I became convinced that, okay, he fits the scheme that they want. He's a 6'5" edge rusher that has a lot of speed, but he's not going to be asked to do a whole lot starting out. They already have, Shaq Barrett and JPP. So this guy's going to be asked to be the third situational guy to come in and spell those guys who are getting older, and then eventually take over as the number one. Kyle Trask, you got the quarterback for the future.
I don't mind the Joe Tryon pick. Solely because you've got Shaq Barrett and JPP, and he's the ultimate solution there.
Yeah.
The knock I had on Joe Tryon is he's not ready to play right now.
Yeah.
He's not. That's what I said in the pre-draft process. I don't want this to be a team that's looking for a pass rusher that can come in and work right now because I don't even know what position the guy's going to play. And I still don't. He could add 20 pounds and be a hand-in-the-dirt guy. He could lose 10 pounds and be a standing-up guy. There's just a lot of projection with him. Well, Tampa Bay's perfect for that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I didn't even mind the Kyle Trask pick, if I'm being really honest with you.
Yeah.
You shouldn't.
I really didn't. I didn't because, you're going to have a quarterback because it's not going to be Ryan Griffin.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm good there. It's really from there. I didn't hate the Robert Hainsey pick either.
Okay.
The day 4 was, it's just a lot of depth, guys. I mean, and I'm not saying that you should have done much more than that.
Yeah.
Because here's what you did. And you take this for what it's worth. You're a Buccaneers fan. And I'm just being honest about your team. You added guys that can come in and contribute right now.
Yep.
They can do things right now because you know what's happening.
Yeah.
You know how this is going to go. When Tom Brady, with all the kicking the can down the road, all of the moving the numbers, when it goes bad, it's going to go real, real bad.
Yeah.
So you brought in guys like KJ Britt and Grant Stewart that can actually do things right now. Because you know what they can do? Those guys can play on special teams and be on the kick team and all that bullshit right now.
Yeah.
So I think you may have extended the rebuild, but I'm not sure you weren't doing that anyway.
Yeah.
I'm not sure because frankly, we're going to learn this as we go. We've never seen a team do what Tampa Bay's doing.
No, absolutely not.
We've never seen a team that went, we got a 2-year window here. And the 3 years from now, be damned. We can be $70 million over the salary cap for all we care.
Right.
This team can suck something awful. We don't care. Never seen a team do that.
Right. You rode the coattail. I mean, you rode on the back of that 2002 World Championship for a long time. Now you finally got another one, and you've got a window. You got a 2-year window here where you're going to be competing for Super Bowls as long as Tom Brady's arm can still stay attached.
Yeah.
And you got to go all in. You got to go all in to get as many because you don't know when it's going to roll back around again, when your opportunity to be relevant is going to be here again. I didn't hate what they did, But you're right. None of it really built for the future.
No,
it's not about the next administration. It's about getting as many championships right now as you can.
And that's the ding on the grade. To me, you could have taken some developmental guys that would have been pieces when the Brady thing runs up. I understand what you did. You also brought back the top 39 players off your depth chart. So it's not exactly like many of these guys are going to play that much anyway. I would have liked it better, a Greg Rousseau where you took Tryon. I do like the Jalen Darden pick.
Yeah.
There were a lot of developmental guys that I look at and go, you know what, they could have been starters 2 years from now when this whole team gets gutted like a catfish.
Yep.
And you didn't do that. You added situational players for now, and that's all well and good. You may have just delayed your rebuild by a year.
Don't care.
I knew that's what you were going to say.
Right.
I fully knew that's what you were going to say, and I think that's what most Buccaneers fans will say in the comments.
They have to. If you're looking as Kyle Trask is going to, they drafted him to really be the guy to take over for Tom Brady and continue to win Super Bowls after this. It's not going to happen. We're not going to have these weapons around for long. You got to get the most out of them while we got them. So enjoy it for the next 2 years, Tampa fans, and then we can sit back, start a rebuild at that point, and watch the Carolina Panthers win this division year in and year out, because I think it's exactly where the NFC South is headed.
Yep.
The NFC West, the toughest